melt this when I'm ocean waves.
Today on Nova Legends podcast, I have Battlefield coach Randall Bills, fresh off a huge win on the road against Patriot, to set up a playback game to determine the Cedar Run regular season champion. Coach, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me. Happy 31st or 32nd birthday. Which one?
Yeah, 57. So
There you go.
close. Appreciate that. Well, look, first of all, how do you feel about a playback game? Now, I think probably some districts, if you were tied like that, they'd have some kind of tiebreaker or points allowed. Who knows? But it looks like there's no game next week, so it seems like this is a good way to stay sharp, and it's going to be great revenue. So, how do you feel about the fact that you have to do a playback game?
So I think they started it, I think like 15 years ago when Unity was Stonewall. They ran through the regular season, and then they had a couple kids that were sick during the tournament time, and they just didn't think that it was fair, so they made that change whenever they did. We've played in it once before against Osborne. I do like it because, like you said, we have a whole week of no games, and it's like trying to figure out how to keep these kids still engaged and interested with a whole week. So it's nice to have a game this week.
Yeah. Well, and how important is the game? I know, if you're the second seed, you're more likely to face Gainesville in a semifinal game. But I mean, Osborne's tough. Freedom, South Riding stuff. It's not like you're going to have an easy game in the semis, no matter what seed you are. Obviously, it's always nice to win, especially against a great team like Patriot. But how important is the fact that you win the regular season district title?
Yeah, so that gives us the first seed in the region. I know where the Fairfax schools, if you're the one seed at the regular season, you're the protected 2, so you can't be lower than the 2. But we don't have that. We have the regular season champ as the 1 seed, and then the tournament is for this year it's 2-3. So potentially, if we did it the other way, it would be protected like in Fairfax. I regular season should have a little bit more bearing on that 1 seed. So I kind of like how we do it as opposed to Fairfax.
Well, I mean, it's great. I mean, the gate proceeds are going to be amazing. Anyone who has not experienced this rivalry, it's one of the best rivalries that I've seen in all the years I've been following basketball. I mean, I drove from Arlington twice for it. It reminds me of the TC Williams-Woodson rivalries when I was in high school. That was Tommy Amaker and Woodson. And TC had a whole bunch of great players, great teams. And there were some Hayfield, West Potomac rivalries, Mount Vernon, Lee rivalries. But this is getting to be on that level.
Yeah, it seems like they seem to fit a few more fans in every single time that we play, whether it's at Battlefield or Patriot. It just seems like, or they're just louder. But either way, it's awesome what Sherman has created over there and what we've created at Battlefield, and that that feeling of, all right, this is a rivalry game and we're coming.
Yeah. Well, I was lucky enough to sit in the third row. And I was right on the floor, I felt. And I felt like there was a little incident in the game, but I thought generally kids play hard. There wasn't a whole lot of trash talking. There were some, but I still, in the crowd, I thought it was very positive generally. People didn't even yell at the refs as much as you see at some of these games. I think the rivalry is pretty positive and a pretty good force.
I think every rivalry has its moments, right? But I think for the most part, like between the players, us as coaches, and the fans as well. Again, we're gonna have our moments, but overall, it's really good. We're positive. They grow up together. They're playing against each other, so they're the friends and all of that. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Well, the kids in the crowd, would they know each other? Because it's like 7 miles apart or 10 miles. Would people know each other generally in these schools other than sports?
Yeah, they might. They might play other sports together. They might have grown up and parted ways after elementary school or middle school because their parents moved down the road. Whatever the case may be. They might work together because Gainesville that Virginia Gateway, Gainesville area, kind of in the middle of Battlefield Patriot. It's got a lot of businesses and lots of places for kids to work. So, I mean, I'm sure that it's all over the place.
Yeah. Okay, so if I would have told you, if I would ask you before the season, if I would have told you before the season that you'd finish 19, 20 and 1 in a playback game for the district title, would you have been satisfied and happy with that? And would you have been surprised about that?
I mean, I would have been more satisfied if we didn't have to play and we were the outright champions. But we'll take the extra game. We had the core coming back this year. They're hungry, they're eager, and I didn't expect it to be as dominating in some aspects. I thought we would need a little bit more work on some things, but the kids came ready to learn, and they've taken what myself and the assistant coaches have said, and even the seniors, leading some of the younger guys, them ready. It's been awesome. It's been a pleasure to be a part of so far.
Well, yeah, and how important, how important was it to beat them in the regular season? Like last year, it didn't seem very, very important because you were able to beat them in the last game to get to advance to the state final. But it seems to me it is nice for the kids to know that they can beat Patriot on their home floor.
Absolutely. It's you come in with this plan of winning the district tournament and winning the region and winning states, right? Mm-hmm. And obviously they've won five in a row. District titles and the region champion last year. So you got to go through Patriot to get there. And the kids, the first game was a little bit rocky. We came out pretty well in the first half, and then we had some adjustments in the second half that didn't go the way that we expected them to go. And then we shored them up over the last couple of weeks, and they came to fruition on Friday.
So Coach, going into this game, what did you learn in the first matchup? You guys had an excellent first quarter there. As a matter of fact, if Isaiah Vick doesn't come out with a couple threes, you guys may have a comfortable lead in the second quarter. But they came out at halftime and really put their stamp on the game. So did you learn a lot from the first matchup?
Yeah, absolutely. We knew that the first half there was some things that that went their way, that didn't go our way, that, kept it. I think they were up by 1 at halftime, that kept it to where they wanted it to be. And then we knew in the third quarter coming out that the pressure was going to come. And we just had a little bit of a lapse of judgment for the first few minutes of that game. And it kind of, or the half, excuse me. And they kind of changed the momentum of that. And then we had a couple of guys make some decisions that they corrected and made right on Friday. So, we watch film and overanalyze it like crazy and try to find, 1 or 2 little things that we can do to throw some wrinkles in, each time that we play them.
Yeah. One thing that you do, I was talking to Coach Desmond over at South Lakes before the first matchup, and he said, well, they're going to have to slow the tempo down. And I'm like, no, you can't slow the tempo down against a team like Patriot because our pressure is so good that you're not going to even get a shot off. And one thing I like what you guys do is you don't try to slow it down. No matter if you're up, down, when you get a good opportunity, you take it, because when you play a team with that kind of defense and athleticism, there's no guarantee you're going to get a shot off if you don't take the first opportunity you get.
Right. Well, you control what you can control, right? On the defensive side, we want them to shoot the shots that we have talked about in practice and what we've planned for. And then on the offensive side, it'll take care of itself eventually, right? If you play well enough defense that, offensively, if we did, continue to do the things that we were doing in the first game and just played a little bit tougher on defense, those 50-50 balls, we went after them a little bit harder. And then the offensive stuff, obviously Maddox got hot for us. And the rest is history right now.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, for now. So let's go to the Friday night's game. So, again, great environment. It was a little concerning that Maddox missed his first 2 shots. And that's one thing I noticed right away, because he didn't shoot great in the first game as well. Right. Hamad had an incredible game. But, it's always nice to have a guy, with Maddox's shooting ability, when he's on, it's going to make you guys much more difficult to guard.
Correct.
But he missed a couple threes early. They hit a couple threes early. And so, and then I think Carter Crab, I think that's his name, right? He hit a
Crab,
three.
yep.
That was a big three. Got you in the game. So what was your thought process in the first quarter?
Well, so with Maddox, it's not of if they go in or not. It's how he's shooting the ball. I've watched him shoot hundreds, if not thousands, of threes throughout games and practice, and it's like, okay, they're going in. I mean, he went 1 for 13 the game before when we played Gainesville, so we knew he wasn't going to go 1 for 13 again. And he moves fantastic without the basketball, and the guys do a really good job of getting him the ball. And then when he gets one, then it's okay, how can we get Maddox open? And the guys do, like I said, the guys do a fantastic job getting them open. In the beginning it was, okay, well, our shots aren't falling, let's just play better defense and make sure that their shots aren't falling. Mm-hmm. And to be honest, I didn't even realize that it was only 3-2 in the second quarter. Because I look at the score and I don't look at it like, okay, it's 20-16. I look at it as like, all right, we're up 2. All right, we're up 3. We're down 3, whatever the case may be. And then when I found out after the game that nobody scored until the last 20 seconds, when it was, I think Caden hit the layup and then Maddox hit the 3, I was like, oh, all right. But I knew that we were up, and that's where you want to be. So
speaking of Caden, that's the guy that I haven't talked about very often this year, but every time I watch Patriot play, he is the most consistent of players. Every day he shows up, he defends. You can't leave him open. He'll stick the shot.
Yep.
He's not ball dominant, so he doesn't do anything to disrupt the flow of the team. But the guy's just having a tremendous season.
He you know what? He seems to be in the right place at the right time for them, wrong time for us.
Yeah.
It's there's a ball rotation and he's wide open at the top of the key, or he's slashing to the lane, or getting an offensive rebound putback, and he's done a really good job for him this year.
Yeah. Well, one thing you guys had more depth this time around. Ty was there.
Yep.
You had another guy with size, African American kid, come off the bench, played well. I thought he gave you a little bit of athleticism.
Yep.
And you're able to keep Ryan your big man Durian out of foul trouble, which was nice. Last time I think he got 2 early fouls.
Yep.
So I thought in the second quarter, one of the reasons why you're able to defend them so well is that you're at full strength and you had more depth this time around.
Yeah, the first time around, Ty was on his family sabbatical, as we're calling it, and then Demir Minka, who's a player on the football team, who's a Division II with Shepherd football. He's really come along the last couple of weeks of practice, both on the offensively and defensively, or the offensive and defensive side. And then we had another kid, Ashton Evans, who was nursing an ankle injury for a little while, and the game before, when we played him at home, he'd only practiced 2 days before, so he was trying to get into the feel of it too. And now we're at least healthier right now. Pending Ty's ankle. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I think the athleticism helps you against teams like Patriot and Hayfield if you guys happen to play them, because when you have those teams have so many athletes.
Yep.
It's nice for you to be able to go to the bench and to inject some athleticism when you need to.
Absolutely. It's always nice to have kids that can change the momentum of a game with a play here on the defensive side, and then get into the basket or getting an offensive rebound and a putback. Just energy guys.
Yeah. So what did you think about that second quarter? The fact that 2 great teams could be held scoreless almost for 8 minutes, and I knew the whole time no one had scored, because I was tweeting the scores, and I didn't have anything to tweet because it didn't change. So Greg Jones, his mother, was saying, "Is there any updates?" And I was like, "Nothing. No one scored all quarter."
It's still 14-12.
It was actually 6-12.
Or 16-12. That's right.
Yeah.
16.
Yeah. So what do you think about that quarter? Do you think both teams are learning how to defend the other teams better? Do you think maybe the tension in the gym with the big crowds and stuff caused that? What's your explanation for that quarter?
An anomaly. I don't think that'll ever happen again. I'll take a 3-2 quarter though, if we're the 3. But I think watching back, I watched the game yesterday and again today, and I think that everybody got the shots they wanted. It just didn't fall. And like you said, it could have been, the fans going, back and forth, and the atmosphere, and maybe everybody was just a little bit tighter than they normally would be. Again,
Yeah.
I don't have that answer.
So last game, the third quarter was a great quarter for Patriot. That was a decisive part of the game. What was your halftime talk this time around?
This time, I mean, we knew they were going to come out and pressure. What type of pressure, we weren't sure. We just knew it was going to be there. So we went over where the guys were supposed to be. If they do this, this is where we're supposed to be. If they do that, then do this. And credit my guys. They put the work in practice. The guys that don't get all the credit, that are on the bench cheering their butts off for their teammates, have pushed so hard in practice these last couple of weeks after the first Patriot game, and they've just kind of taken that role on, and because of their hard work, they're helping the guys that step on the floor that much more for us. So.
Plus, you got a great crowd behind you. I was sitting next to them.
That helps.
Yeah, a couple of them were trying to give me 5, and I'm like, look, I got to try to act like I'm nonpartisan here, otherwise I would get a hard time. So, let's talk about the third quarter. That was a crazy quarter.
Yep.
You guys went up 7. Looks like you guys are in complete control of the game. Next thing you know, you're down 10.
Yep.
So what happened in that quarter?
I think it was the ice skating that started to happen. I felt like there was a lot of people slipping all over the place. And it didn't happen in the first half, and it didn't happen in the fourth quarter. It just happened to be in that third quarter time frame. I think we just got away from some of the things that we were successful for in the first half. And the guys, credit to them, when we called the timeout, we had a couple timeouts that third quarter, and they calmed each other down. They're like, hey, we've been here, we've done this before. This isn't the first time. Like, let's go out and handle business. And they did it.
Yeah, they did it. Well, the fourth quarter was unbelievable, and Maddox's shooting performances was one of the most dominant I've ever seen. When you put it in context, there was only 47 points in total scored by Battlefield. He was able to get 6 3-pointers. I think he finished with 22 points.
Yep.
It was just an incredible clutch shooting display that was decisive.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, he is cold-blooded, and he will hurt you in bunches if he gets that space. If he's left open, he's going to knock him down.
Yeah. Well, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about your defenders, because Manny, I forgot his last name. King, Ryan, Carter, the whole team. You guys did a great tie off the bench. You guys did a great job defending in transition, because that's where they really hurt you last time. And it seems to me they get if you can get them into the half court set, at least you're in position to rebound. And it just seemed that was one of the main differences, is that they didn't score quite as many in transition, and they had some 3-pointers as well. Des Hopkins got hot.
Yep, he got hot, and the guys, again, just at practice and trying to simulate and emulate everything that Patriot does. Is throwing 6 guys out there on offense, 7 guys out there. Hey, you guys go cheat, or you stand at half court, to force everybody to get back, so that way they didn't get those easy buckets, because again, that's what gets them going, right? Is the transition buckets, the dunks for Vic, the layups, the and ones, the transition threes, and we just did everything we possibly could to prepare them, for those types of situations.
Right. And what was it in the last couple of minutes? You're nursing it's 5-6 point lead, but a turnover here, turnover there, and then and Patriot has come back twice against really good teams in the last month or so.
Yep.
So what was your strategy to hold on late?
Well, obviously not turn the ball over, but just defend without fouling. I think it seems like in close games, there's always an and one or a couple and ones that happen, and it changes the whole momentum and the confidence of the guys that are out there. And I think we only gave up one of those this time. I think it was Jay. Jay got an and one, but I think, the guys stepped up and hit their free throws. The guys, not that we had that many of them, but they were timely free throws, and they got the rebounds. We didn't give them second, third opportunities, like we did in the first game.
Yeah. Well, congratulations again, Coach. That was a great win. Now we're going to Gainesville neutral court on Wednesday at 6 p.m. When you think about, and this is another wrinkle bits being thrown in, because now You may even play them more times than you played last year, if that's possible. Is there a sense when you're playing a team that you want to save something for in terms of tactics for down the road, or every time you play, you throw the kitchen sink at them?
Well, I think you try to put us as a coaching staff try to put our heads on and think, okay, what would Coach Rivers try to do? What would he, if we do this, what is he going to do? And try to just have, so many different things. You go back and watch all the films. We watched some of them from last year to see. Obviously, last year's team's different, but from year to year, from game to game, when you play them, what if we played them now 7 times? In less than a year, you start to feel like it's your second team, just because the guys, you're watching them, their tendencies, and what is a wrinkle that he can try to do, and let's try to guess and see what happens.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the elimination game type of game, how important is this game?
Oh, super important. I'll put it at a 9. Just because, again, the guys have made this one of their goals this year, is to get the district regular season championship under their belt, and they fought on Friday, and I know they're going to fight again on Wednesday.
Yeah. Well, look, Coach, this has been great. I always love talking to you. You do a tremendous job. Great coach. I love the way you handle yourself on the bench. I think what you and Coach Rivers have created, and your players, your parents, this rivalry is great entertainment. It's so good for the community. And it's just amazing. I'm sure people are still buzzing about Friday, and then soon, they're gonna be starting to build up until Wednesday.
Yep.
So I mean, I can't wait. I'm making the trip out there again. So yeah, I'm just I wish you the best of luck, and I hope everyone stays healthy, and we can just enjoy these rivalries and into the end of the postseason.
And we could have it 6, right? With this one, it could be 6, which would be insane. But one game at a time, one day at a time.
Yeah. This is great. We have one more. We know we have one on Wednesday,
yes,
and I'm sure there'll be plenty more. So let's just enjoy them while we have them.
Yes.
But anyway, Coach, thanks as always for your time, and I'll see you out there on Wednesday.
Thanks for having me, and enjoy birthday dinner.
Okay. All right, Coach. Appreciate it, buddy.
Have a good one.
I'm helpless when I'm ocean waves.